Here we go. Here is the exterior of the car. Maybe I should have did something about blocking that front plate. This is not my car, it's a loaner, but had to give you guys a exterior just shot of the car, how it looks. It's the non-M Sport 330i. So you can see it looks a lot different. Headlights look the same. A bunch of stuff in the front look the same. I didn't do this to the plate. I don't know who did. You could definitely tell the ride height is crazy high. I could fit like both of like my feet in there. You could fit a small army underneath there. As with right here, boom, whole fist going in there right now. No, the Xdrive cars tend to be higher, and just stock cars in general tend to be higher, but this right here is high. It might be just because of the front bumper. It's not as aggressive. Well, the whole car is not as aggressive, but you guys get the point, right? So here we have these side markers. If you guys have been paying attention to this channel, you'll know that USR, that's USR, UniqueStyleRacing.com, partnered up with me and the channel to get the M340 some new side markers. Now, I stated in a previous video that it might not fit non-M Sport cars. I wish I had this side marker here with me to just double check, but it does look like it is in fact the same side marker, and it goes on the same exact way it seems. And even though this is not the M Sport car or M trim car, I have an aerodynamic thing going on. The reflector is actually comes off right behind here. You still have to take off these bolts on the top. It looks to get to it, but yeah, it seems pretty easy nonetheless. You can tell this right here is pretty functional. This is what I was referring to before. The front of the car definitely doesn't look as aggressive. Pretty much the most people that watch this channel, like 100% of people that really watch this channel, will not want this car. I'm gonna tell you that straight up right now. You're not gonna want this car. Just go ahead and save yourself the money, time, and frustration. Get the M340. Don't get the 330, try to spruce it up and just jump for the M340, because you're gonna be saving yourselves a lot of time and money. These look like they are, what are these? These are, let me see, I'm thinking they're 17s, but they might be 18s. Yeah, they are 18s. So you got 225, 45 all around. We ain't even gonna get into that. I do not think this is like a performance vehicle at all. But the 18s, they feel a hell of a lot nicer because we got that rubber. Now, as a run flat tire, y'all know how I feel about run flat tires. I don't like them. So if you spec your BMW that come with run flat tires, then it won't come with an area for the spare, which gives you more trunk space. I'll open the trunk for you. You'll see I got all my crap in here, but you'll notice that it's a lot bigger than my trunk. Well, it's actually the same size, but I have like a false floor that raises up so the spare could fit. So if you guys look at my trunk, you'll notice right here it looks a lot deeper on this edge because it's not level. It's like a height up thing. Glad BMW decided to follow suit with everybody else in the world and actually give every car dual exhaust tips. The one or two exhaust tips on one side looks freaking corny, and if you're paying a whole bunch of money for a car like you will even the 330 model, I think you should get two tips on each side. Now, they are the circular tips, so the 30s now come with circles. The previous 435 and all the 35 or 40 cars will come with the exhaust, maybe in a circle form. They are now trapezoidal form exhaust, which is kind of like fake. It's more so into the bumper, whereas these are actually real exhaust tips, kind of like the 435 in my opinion. Same setup. One thing you'll notice the difference between the 330s and my car is that no serum grade trim. It's just color match. Same thing for the grille. You got the chrome right here. And I'm not a fan of this. I know some people like it, but I'm not a fan of this. I prefer my grille better. It looks like these are still the motorized open and close ones, but I think mine is better. Like single slates down, it don't really scream sporty to me, to be honest, even on the M340s. So I'm gonna pop the hood real quick. But before we go in the hood, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the interior, show you guys what the ambient lighting looks in the daytime, what you'll get with a beige interior. Looks pretty nice. You know, still even have the stickers on the door still, so I'll show you all of that stuff. If you guys look right here, you'll see coming in the car, easy to show how much dirt get on this. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know, this looks kind of cheesy and cheap when you couple it with the beige. I ain't gonna lie, my black, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact design as my car, but it don't look as cheap. Even with the speaker grill, like I don't know why they had to do that, but you know, typical BMW. I just see they swapped the little thing. It's no more of a pop. It's all buttons, which I don't like, because when you're doing your fun little Mexico thing, and sometimes you might have to turn all the lights off in the car. This car really don't allow you to do it by pressing the off button. Maybe we can go in coding or somewhere and do it, but you can't really turn these lights all the way off unless the car is like getting like a neutral or park. Sucks, right? Like I was showing you guys, stock steering wheel. Let's go look around here. You'll see, ain't nothing special. We all know my seat sits a lot further back than most, which sucks sometimes. Now, I will say, getting in and out of the 3 Series can prove to be just a tad bit harder than the 4 Series, my old car, or even like the 5 Series, the bigger cars. If you're big like me, which is like 6'2", 6'3", maybe 250, 260 pounds, the way things going, you might have just a tad bit issue if you put your seat back and you try to get out. Obviously, because the B-pillar is right here, and this is where I sit. So I kind of gotta, you get what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to finagle the camera some way where you guys can see me getting out of the car, but it look kind of like a fat man getting out of a Lamborghini. You get what I'm saying? Same type of trim, you know, nothing too crazy. Like I said, I gotta show you those ambient lights at night, and yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, this is it. You guys see the other stuff from my car. I don't even think I did a legit review for my car yet, though, to be real with you. So you'll probably catch more stuff from here. You got all that stuff in the back. Got the nice little 2 USB-Cs, which charge fast as hell. I would use those for my GoPros, whatever, you know. But yeah, pretty nice. I wouldn't even call this the business end, because it's just a little Ford banger. But same type of design, same setup, intakes in the same place. I think the intakes on this car, the B46 or the B48, is exactly the same as the B58 intakes. You got the same type of design. Everything pretty much is the same, just 2 less cylinders. If you take a look under here, pop this up, it just clips on and clips off. You see how small the motor actually is, bruh. We starting right here, literally. So right here where my finger is the end of the motor, or beginning if you take in count of these timing designs they be doing now. But and this will be the end. So I wonder if this is cylinder 1 and this is 4. I don't know, I gotta look at that. But like I said, only 4 banger, small little motor, potent. Once again, turbochargers in the same exact spot as B58. It looks really easy to change, and yeah, it looks a lot smaller as well. I wonder how much boost this thing runs to get to the power level it does. For those of you who know, the 435 ran about 7 to 8 pounds of boost to make just 60 horsepower more than 28s, which ran like 17 pounds of boost factory. That's another reason why the charge pipes lasted so much better in the N20 motors, because they just ran higher boost from factory. Whereas when you start cranking up the M55 charge pipes, boost, you know, it only take 8. So if you're running 15 or 16 or something that can take 8, you kind of blow stuff up versus running 24 or something that's supposed to run 17, if I'm making any sense. Typical BMW, typical new car fashion is just nothing but a whole bunch of hoses and wiring. It was like a big spaghetti mess, nothing nice. The second I sat down an M340, I kind of realized, like, yo, maybe this is the car for me. It's nice, it's sporty, and it's new, you know, new technology and everything. Instantly fell in love with the car. The M340 feels a lot more sporty than you would think. A lot more sporty than even the 335 or the 340 M Sport. Those are the F chassis, right? I know I've said that a bunch of times. However, sitting in this BMW, the 2021 330i that I got as a loaner, low mileage, but it's just, you can tell the difference from the initial sit-in of like sport versus like M performance versus non-M performance or whatever you have, because this thing is night and day difference. I mean, I didn't expect it to be close, but damn, like, I started to realize you do have the nice lights in here. I would say that. The ambient lighting, I'll drop in some clips or whatever, but your interior color is more like a beige-ish. I'm more of a fan of like Oyster. I had in my old 5 Series back in the day. This one, pretty nice. I had this in my Nissan, it's the same color. I like it. I like lighter interiors over darker interiors. However, the white, I think, would hit different in this car. We're gonna see how it looks at night too with the lights. I'm gonna show y'all everything, ambient lighting settings. We're gonna go through a couple of options, especially some of the ones that I didn't have in the M340. So other than that though, just first impressions, I gotta tell you this. It feels very weird to be in this car, be in kind of the same layout as my car, but totally different. First thing you notice is obviously the lack of power. This car has about, I'll put the horsepower down there, but I'm gonna say probably no more than 280 horsepower, 300 horsepower. And kind of close to the same thing, pound feet of torque. You could feel it. It just feels like a 4-cylinder. You have the B46 under here, and or B48, I don't know what they call it, but yeah, it feels like a slower car, you know. One thing I will say though, it has enough speed to get around. So I'll put the car in sport right now. Sport seems like the mode that I think I'll keep this car in if I would own it. You do notice a change in like steering. It does get a little bit firmer, but you can hear the fake engine sounds pumping instantly. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'll cycle through, but if wish there's a way. Is there a way you can configure it? I'm not really a fan of the way the motor sounds, or the fake sound of the engine, so I wish there was a way you could turn that off in the settings. It doesn't look like you can. Sport mode is most likely where you're gonna be at. If anybody like me, sports trans, you don't really need too much of the paddles. Driving these cars, it doesn't really make me feel like I want to go fast. You know, the steering wheel is not as thick. It has this weird awkward shape design or whatever, where it's like a triangle with like the edges cut off of it. Now power wise, it definitely has enough torque to get you going. I wouldn't have any issues with it, to be honest with you. You buy this car not really for speed. If you want faster, go for the M340. This is not the car that you buy and tune to try to match power numbers with the M340 at all. Maybe you can get somewhere close to M340 stock numbers, or maybe you get past M340 stock numbers, but the feel of the car is just not there, especially with the engine sound. You get so much more of a better package with the M340. But nonetheless, if you're not looking for that, if you're just looking for, you know, looks kind of sorta, you know, just to be in a new car, BMW 3 Series, maybe these lease well, I think it's a good idea. And I don't think that you are, I don't know, wasting your money with something like this. It's pretty nice. It's kind of peppy, you know. It's a nice car. Obviously working with stock car. This is a loaner car. Got about 3,300 miles on here. Suspension. This car rides high in the air, which is dope because you don't have to worry about scraping anything. And this is the Xdrive model, so it sits a bit higher than the rear wheel drive, you know, 330 if they even have them available. I have to stress this, it's not a type of car that you're gonna be carving canyons with. This is just like a good point A, point B. A car that seems to be reliable. Fuel economy, I'm not exactly sure. I would never steer anyone in a direction to buy any BMW if they're really concerned about fuel economy, because they really burn a lot more gas than I think the EPA suggests. If you want me to be real, just my driving style around, I get close to the numbers that I would get in a 340 or a 435. I got to touch base back on the steering wheel. It's really cheap. It's cheesy. It's like very cheap plastic around the dial edges. I'll put in some clips here. You do have one silver ring. Pretty nice. The old paddle shifters, these are the same as in the M340. Yo, it's so weird how they feel and look now. It just feels like my paddles were supposed to be that way from stock, and now that I see something like this, it looks very weird. Kind of like little ears sticking up out of the steering wheel. Same thing for the start-stop button. I'm starting to notice that the stop-start button does look a lot cheaper and cheesier than the upgraded crystal one that I put. So maybe it is worth it after a while. Also with the trim, the little cheesy cheap trim that I got on, I think AliExpress or something like that, really sets the car off. I think it would do better on this car because the beige ring around the beige interior kind of looks a little weird and blandish. One thing I do notice as well though, I tend to make a lot wider turns in this car. I think it might be something with the steering ratio, maybe Xdrive, I don't know, something different. But this car takes more turns or more spins around the wheel, well, in comfort mode for that fact, to get the car going. Actually in sport too, I feel like I turn the wheel a lot more than I normally would. And that's not something that I would normally notice, to be honest with you. But doing YouTube for so long and driving so many different cars, you tend to notice things like that. Yeah, let me hit it from dead stop. Alright, speed limit is about 30. Let's be real, I barely cracked the speed limit. I'm not even lying to y'all, no Mexico trickery in here. Barely cracked the speed limit. It just, the motor seems like it has a little bit of pep, but the gears seem kind of a little bit too long for this this engine. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense out of that, but down low, getting around, putting around, a little bit of passing power, you got it. But if you ring this motor out to the top, you ain't really getting nothing. There ain't really much up top. I'm pretty sure maybe the turbo runs out of steam or however the mapping is, but it's nice and toasty in here too. Now this car, even though it's fitted with a bit more options than mine, I'm assuming this would be the Sensatech. It does kind of feel Sensatech-ish, but yeah, it does come with the lights. However, the sound system I think is still stock. And PSA, which is a public service announcement for those of you who do not know, just because you turn all the settings up, i.e. bass and treble, does not mean it makes it sound good. Every car I get into for some reason, whether it be like loaner or maybe like, you know, a girl's car, say it's sad to say it, you have the bass all the way up to the max and like the treble be all the way up to the max. It's like, yeah, don't give you a sound system just by turning it up, okay? Sometimes it actually sounds better, or actually all the time it sounds better if you kind of turn it down a little bit and figure out where you like the settings. But yeah, regular sound system. I know it has nothing to do with the car. The window tint just not here. It feels really weird now. I'm used to driving and always looking really cloudy and gloomy out, and now it's just like very bright. It makes the car look even brighter, coupled with the interior. I can barely see the ambient lighting in the daytime. I mean, I can kind of see if I look for it. I'm very, very curious as to how it would look at night. Now, would I pick this over the Mercedes C300? No, I really wouldn't. Entry-level cars, I think Mercedes really got it, especially with their really nice interiors. However, if you love BMWs and, you know, you are familiar with the layout, I would get this. BMW did a great job with updating the infotainment system and everything. A tad bit more confusing than normal, and a couple things that I felt that they should have included in these raw buttons. If you turn up and down most of the time, it'll do driver and passenger separately. I would have loved this to be a sync button, to be honest with you. However, they replaced it with a air circulating button, which I don't really care too much. I would pretty much select automatic, you know what I mean? Especially something that has an automatic button. I wouldn't really want down here. Now they have menu AC where you can, you know, quick up right there and then click synchronize, which will obviously sync the temps together. However, they left that out. Another thing which is pretty annoying to get to sometimes is this heating and ventilation. Now BMW has always had this like knob thing, which is weird. You put it right here whether you want to go up or down in temperature. It kind of has nothing to do with the set temperature on the car. It's very weird. I hope someone else can explain that. I'm gonna explain that to you guys, because it's kind of hard for me. But the temperature adjustment up top is kind of like in a menu as well, so pretty annoying. This is with all G chassis cars that I've been in for the most part. I go over prices too. Like I'll put the price down here of this car and put the price down here of like my car, brand new and optioned out similarly. And I guess you guys will make that decision on whether you like the 2021 M330 or 2021 330, sorry, better than you know, if you guys like it more or find it more beneficial, better bang for buck. The M340 fits more people, to be honest with you, because you have the best of both worlds. You know, you have the guys where, you know, we ain't got as much like 85 grand to go get the new G80 M3, you know, but we got the next best thing. As far as buying or lease it, I would just lease it. I don't think I would ever buy the 330. I just think it's a leasable type of car. You know, I don't think there's any reason you should really keep it. Many people have their arguments on whether all cars should be leased nowadays or whatnot. That's just your chat. But, you know, for me, I would stick to lease. You have enough room in this car as well, too. I don't think there's a reason to really want to go to a 5 Series, especially if you guys coming from F10s. You guys coming from definitely E60s and E39s. This is more than enough room. But now you will notice those cars are a bit wider. So if you just must have a 5 Series, then go ahead. But for those of you who are on the fence, I'm saying, or just end up, you know, pricing this car, maybe you get a good deal on it. This is not a bad idea, to be honest with you. So maybe go ahead and downstep to a 3 Series. Like I said, I'm driving it. I've actually done it. I've actually had a F10 5 Series. And I will say, sometimes you think they're just big for no reason. They look really nice on the outside, but the interior, you know, for as much space you actually have in the back, is a little bit pointless. I hope I've touched base with everything in the interior. These are just my first impressions. Like I said, majority of it reminds me of my car. However, there are just those slight tidbits that don't. All right, guys. cool. This thing blinks red. The rest of them are blue. Oh, this thing blinks red. What the hell? Oh, God damn. The ambient lights. Why didn't I? Does that even make any sense? Why I did not, or why didn't I? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, so we made it to the nighttime. Give you guys your nighttime shots. And we're gonna go over a couple things in the Xdrive that I think I want to dig through. But yeah, at night, you know, pretty much kind of sort of the same. But the light interior just makes me feel like I bought a more premium car. Like, it feels like I'm in a more premium car than mine. I wouldn't opt for the light color. I'll turn this light on right now, but I wouldn't opt for this. I would get this in black. And I know it might sound weird, or I would get the, you know what? I would have this white because I do like the contrast. It just looks very weird yellow. I think this, or beige. I think this is what's throwing me off here. It looks really weird. It's kind of like there's no in between. Like you see here, you have this with the silver with the black. This is just this in black. I never thought I'd get to the point where I'm that picky or that like knowing about, like, you know, features in cars. I was just so hyped to be in something new that, you know what I mean, who cares? Just, you know, my first car was a 1992 Camry, 4-cylinder at that. So let's be real, bruh. Actually, my first car was a 1990 Honda Accord, which actually lasted me a day. No one knows about. I bought a Honda Accord for $600. Drove it from Maryland to Delaware because I was dating a girl in Delaware at the time. And yeah, it lasted from Maryland to Delaware. It barely lasted there. I kind of knew I was going to take the car back. I just wanted to visit the girl that I was speaking to at the time. And yeah, as soon as I got back to Maryland, I just took it back. But that's besides the point. Yo, wow, thing's pretty freaking nice. A nice place to chill. Any of you guys know me, or for those of you who do know me, you'll know that I'm one of the type of dudes, man. I just like to chill sometimes, you know, maybe even go for a drive, but just relax, chill. I even used to edit in my car with a laptop, you know, just chilling. Yeah, I'm very weird like that, I guess. If you want it, whatever, I don't care what you think. But yeah, man, it's nice. At night, it really stands out. Let me turn the light off. Let me turn this off. It's getting hot. I'm starting to get a headache. But there you go. That ambient lighting is what's up, though. In the door, underneath. Now, I will say, let me get you on the light, but I will say, I was riding the car with my boy. Shout out to him. We just end up towing his car. But he made up a good point. He said it feels like BMW kind of cheated you a little bit. They gave you half. They gave you like the little half on the door, but there ain't nothing up here, you know. I see this and everything, but it'd be nice to get a little extra touches on here. I don't have carrying car in mind. I have no clue what this is. In order, audio output. I'm not sure what these are. It just seems like some special way it blows the vents and I'll play certain music, but go in here. I figured out a lot of you guys talk about the full LEDs and why I don't have them. To be real with you, I didn't do much research in buying the car, and I actually kind of prefer it that way now. I seen it, I liked it, and I bought it. I feel like a lot of us get caught up in doing research on the car way too much, you know, and some of us just don't go out on a whim and buy a car. Now, I will say, going out on a whim, buying a car, especially like your sight unseen guys, it can be kind of nerve-wracking. I will admit that. But there's nothing more fun. There's nothing more fun than just randomly deciding, yo, you know what? Let's go look at cars. I want that car. Just because you randomly seen it driving by, doing minimal to no research. I know the B58 was potent, but I did not know really pretty much anything else about the M340. But, yeah. Let me see. Personal assistant. That's not what I want. I'm trying to get to the lights here. Where we at with the lights, guys? That's exterior lighting. I noticed this exterior lighting was different too. You have this right here, which my car doesn't, the automatic high beam. So I'm not sure if there's any other special function in here. And then mine's daytime. I don't know why those aren't on. But driver assistance displays. There we go, interior lighting. I just want to play with the colors. So brightness is up so that we can expect that dynamic light. What the hell is that? Dim for night driving. Who the hell wants to dim their lights? Oh no. It gets real dim. I don't even know why you would want to do that. Let's check the colors. We have, oh, this is, oh, you get a nice set of options. I'm pretty sure Mercedes has more. I don't know. I think I'm more of a one color guy. Green and white. Definitely not green. Well, we're just gonna go with one color alone because it looks nice, but okay. We checked the blue the whole ride. Let's check white. You know, white's definitely, it's not pure white. You can tell it's kind of like all the colors kind of like combined. Like a mild bluish pinkish. Let's go to an orange, typical BMW orange. No. Bronze. Yeah, it just looks like a washed out orange. No red. Wow, no red. I think I'm gonna stick with the blue. The blue looks the best. Definitely looks the best. No red, that's odd. But yeah, so yeah, I was very interested in going through those colors. I'm not sure why. I know Mercedes has like 64 colors they market or something like that, but everything else pretty much looks the same. You know, driver assistance, driving modes, blah 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 blah. Yeah, everything pretty much looks the same. I stated before, instrument cluster is a tad bit different. It doesn't really change from day to night. All right, well, I pretty much wrapped up the video. I had to see how it looks at night. I don't regret my decision at all, like not even 1% of my build in the car that I got. However, it would be nice. It would be nice to have some ambient light in there. So yeah, with that being said, I'm about to lose you because GoPro sucks at lighting. Mike from Slow Speed, peace out.